one day, RD it's that time of year when he was going to move the herd from the top to the bottom. It was fall, cooling. The deer flies were not as much of a danger to the cattle. And he had calves and cows, and I don't know, maybe 150 head. And he had decided, as had Henry, I had convinced them both that when you can, it's easier and neater to move them all at once with horses, and it's just a better way to do it. And so RD, the plan was, it was only 3 miles down a sloping road, and the canyon wasn't sheer the way you would think. It was sloping, but it was way steep. It was too steep. I wouldn't want to run a horse down it. And so I took off with his grandson in a van and I think a couple of other kids and one horse, and we're moving the adult cows, the mama cows and the bulls, down this road. We only got to go 3 miles, and it's a full moon, it's gorgeous, and things are going perfect. RD stayed behind to load the calves into trailers. They were going to trailer them down. And so Nathan was the grandson with me, and he was in a van, and I'm riding the horse, and I'm saying to Nathan, this is probably the calmest cattle move I've ever done with RD. It's going perfect. And Nathan says, well, that's because Grandpa's up on the top with those calves. And so we get about halfway down, it's going perfect, and I hear thunder coming. And I hear RD's voice saying, you got to move those cows faster. They're going to go over the side. You got to move them faster. And he slams into the back there. He's yelling, and 3 cows go over the side, and we move. We get the rest down there. Nathan, I looked at each other. Here we go again. And so the cows go over the side, and we find them. About 6 months later, somebody called and had them in a pen. They weren't hurt, and he got them back. But it was just typical of the intensity that he felt like he had to move them with. With Henry, it was all so well planned. We would move him 7 miles down at Nazareth, right down the highway. And he had his little son Heath, who was so little, they would put the pickup truck in one, and he would be at the back. And to stop, his little head had to disappear because he couldn't reach the brake. And his head would disappear, the truck would slowly stop, and he would put it in gear. Heath now is about 270 and a giant guy, but in those days he was really, really little. And one time I remember we had a big bull that didn't want this to happen. I mean, he would literally get out in front and try to stop the cows and fight his way all the way back, and of course they would drift around. And when we got there, this guy had been whipped. I mean, he had traveled probably 21 miles or more and pushing them with the horses. And the first bull that was already there took him on. And there was a fierce fight, and he whipped that bull. Then another bull took him on. He whipped that bull. And then this little bull took him on, and that bull kind of prevailed. And I told Henry, I said, I wouldn't want to be that little bull tomorrow when the big guy gets some water and some rest, because the pecking order will go back to normal. But when we moved RD's, our bull would get in a fight with another man's bull, and they would tear a fence down. And I mean, that's just the kind of stuff that would happen.